Well, hello everyone. Ogre27 Kane here today, and we're gonna do a review of Slave Zero X for the Nintendo Switch. Let's do a little bit of an overview and figure out what we're talking about today. So this is a 2.5D side-scrolling beat-em-up brawler, if you will, with RPG elements. This is probably the most difficult game this generation for me, and maybe one of the most difficult games I've ever played. I put tons of hours into this game and I love it to death, but I'll be honest with you, I cannot complete it. I've been trying now for a while, and there's a certain spot in this game that has me stuck. Don't let that hold you up though, because there's a lot to see here and a lot to play, and maybe you're just better at these kind of games than I am. So without further ado, let's start out with the gameplay. So the general gameplay loop in this takes place on 2.5D stages, which are mainly consistent of combat with some story elements mixed in. There are no puzzle-solving elements, and the RPG elements that are in it are only a couple of upgrades and a couple of times that you can upgrade each one of these. The game is really solely built around you getting better at it, understanding the combination and combat system to it, and using that to your advantage to progress through the story and fight new ways to beat enemies. Every enemy in this game is different in how they require that you defeat them, and the combat is 99% of this game. If you're not good at fast reaction type games, if you're not good at Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, this game might be really difficult for you, as I have a lot of experience with those in my younger days, but frankly I haven't played a lot of them lately. This game has punished me to no end, but I have to say I really enjoy it, and it's a nice breath of fresh air to play something like this. It's very reminiscent of the old NES days where you just had to keep plugging away, trying and learning the pattern to figure it out. Once you figure it out, the game has a tremendous feeling of excitement, of joy, of understanding what the game's asking of you. And it's, for lack of a better word, folks, it's like Dark Souls. Once you beat a boss in Dark Souls, there's no better feeling of gratification. The last thing I really need to mention about gameplay is that this game has a ton of replayability. The game gives you grades for every single method of scoring and defeating enemies, and you can replay each section and part of the stage over and over if you need to. So let's hit story now. So to directly just quote the box, from the top of Mega City S19, the Sovereign Khan rules with fists of iron and flesh. Beneath the city's rotting foundation, a vengeful warrior embarks on a journey to murder him. So the story in this is your typical hero saving the Mega City in a dystopian future. He has an all-powerful mech that he discovered that nobody really else knows about, and it has secret weapons. Honestly, the story in this game kind of feels shoehorned in there, and it's not really that good. I didn't really care too much for it, nor did I pay attention to it a lot. But I will say the dialogue that takes place during the stages from your enemies and the bosses is hilarious, as some of the stuff they say is downright outrageous. The first boss in the game was probably my favorite, as a lot of what he says is almost parody or parallel to what's happening in our world today. And regardless of any politics aside, you can get a good laugh out of what he's saying because it's almost what you'd expect from the future of humanity. So let's move on to the next category, the graphics and animations. So the graphics and animations to me in this game are absolutely fantastic. I can only record in 720, 30 frames a second, so I can't really give you the full breadth of how beautiful this game is. When you're running it on a big TV in 1080p, the game really does shine, and it shows off everything they were trying to do. It's very flashy, it's very fast, it's very frenetic, and everything runs absolutely perfectly. The other really cool thing is that there are no crashes or errors or issues with this game, and I've had very few frame skips or frame drops. With the combat as precise and frantic as it is, this is really a good thing, and it shows that they optimized very well what they were trying to do. The animation quality is also extremely good, considering that there are 3D polygons with the background mixed in with the 2D sprites on the foreground. They play in well together and they interact well together, as you can jump between different environments up or down a level and on certain things that really highlight and show this off. I truly enjoyed the graphic style in this, and I think that it does great for what they're trying to do with the story. It almost feels like a Gundam type aesthetic. So let's do controls and audio now. So we'll start off talking about the audio because I think it's downright fantastic. The sound effects, the music, the characters' audio and dialogue pieces, they all fit perfectly together. And I want to show a little bit of this off, so I'm going to show one of the boss's first little quips. This part had me rolling.
I'm impressed with you, though, Guardian. You'd kill a train full of patriots just to get to me. I like your style. I think I'll take it. That is the American way, after all.
Get on the train! Guardian terrorists sabotaged the railway, causing a fatal collision between two trains. Disgusting! Should you be afraid? General Thorman had this to say.
I'm deeply saddened by the loss of this wonderful town. It will be avenged.
Inspiring! Stay tuned for more of The Truth.
I come from a proud line of quarterbacks, ancient warriors of America. Their nuclear footballs rain down upon their enemies, just as my sword will crash down upon your neck.
Aisha, can you quiet him? Hack something?
Oh my gosh, every time I hear that, it's freaking hilarious. I love that first boss. Let's talk briefly about the controls, and we'll hit more of this in the combat in a second, but the controls are very reliant on your accuracy and button presses, and the game is very fast-paced. I wouldn't say they're bad in any way, shape, or form, but they are completely reliant on you. So let's hit combat. So to kind of tie combat in with controls, the game is a very fast-paced 2D brawler, but it's not reliant on just simple A and B presses. Yes, you have a light attack and a heavy attack with Y and X, but each direction plus a standalone press of the button represents a different move. Not only that, you can tie all of these moves in combination with each other, and you can also execute these burst moves, if you will, too, that allow you to add to those combos. Then on top of that, if you perfectly time combos, when you see me flashing blue here, that's in response and allowing you to chain your combos together even faster. The game is heavily reliant on you hitting these combos, and as you can see here, juggling your opponents in the air to allow you to recover from combos and keep them going. The game does have a generous system of allowing you to button cancel out of things, as you can dash as well, although it uses up some of your meter, so I wouldn't recommend doing it too much. But you can get out of the way of things. Now, I do have to mention the game has a bad tendency to stun lock you and get you in the corner, as the game heavily relies on this fast-paced nature, and the enemies do it to you too. It's pretty annoying when it happens, and frankly, it's frustrating to have to replay a part over and over and over due to something like this, but it's the nature of the game, and it will be in the back of your mind in every single fight. Just because you think you're down to the last hit on an enemy doesn't mean you'll actually beat them, doesn't mean you'll actually be successful. The game is almost relying on chance in this fact, but you can get good at it and you can overwhelm the game and learn how to beat it. I love the combat, so let's hit conclusion now. So in conclusion, Google says this game takes on an average of 5 to 10 hours to beat. I'll be honest, I put over 10 hours into this in just repeating sections alone, and I can't do it. This game will probably take me 40 or 50 hours in retries to beat, as, like I said, it's probably the most difficult game I've played this generation. There are no difficulty options, and the game is completely reliant on you getting good. If you enjoyed these 2D type beat 'em up brawlers, this game is a gem, and it's absolutely worth your time and your money. Having a physical complete on cartridge edition also makes a great advantage and a huge asset to your collection. I do see it going up in value, as I don't think they printed too many copies, and it's already going out of sale in certain places like GameStop. I do recommend picking this game up, and if you enjoy these games, this is definitely one to have in your collection. But be forewarned, this game is just straight hard. Well, I hope I helped you make up your mind on whether this game was worth it for you or not. So thank you for watching today's video. It was a blast to make. I upload every single Monday. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And have a great rest of your day. This is Ogre27 Kane, signing out.
We can't attack Enyo, but we can attack her domain.
From inside, out of her reach. Oh, so frustrating. Enyo cares about her reputation, and she's prideful. It's only a matter of time before we piss her off enough to make her come out.
It's a good plan.
Oh, thanks.
His last call. Raise a glass to the glorious Zulkan. Thank you for your sacrifice.